Hey guys, welcome to an episode of Drunken Dungeons. I'm Ian. I said I'd pop on and just say hello to everybody and thank everybody who's following along. We're going to keep this up, keep this moving a little bit. This video isn't going to be as long as the last one. Now, the last one was like 40 minutes, which was too fucking long. But we're going to have a beer here. So, look, I'm drinking Estrella, Galicia. It's a little bit stronger than the Estrella that I had on the last episode. I don't have any craft beer. I'm off to the craft pub now later on and probably pick up a few cans for the next one. But look, go have a beer. I'm going to swap between cameras, so you're not going to be looking at me now the whole time, or you're not going to be looking at a piece of paper like in the last one. We're going to pop up a character sheet that we made that's up on Patreon now at the minute, and you can follow along if you downloaded it. I'm going to pop it up on the screen here. We're going to fill out some stuff. And then we're going to take a look at the weapon skills and the ballistic skills, how we're going to do skills in the system, how we're going to use them. And then we're going to move on to maybe some weapons and some armour and have a look and see how that might work, or how we might deal with those. And then after that, then we're going to take a quick look at some world building. Well, where this setting is going to go, and the idea that I have behind it. So if you want to follow along, grab your character sheet now and roll some dice along with me. Alright, we'll pop it over here now. Thanks guys, see you in a second. I've got to set this up. Hey, so just quickly, I forgot to mention, just for people who may be just tuning in newly, Gamma World, Warhammer, and Metamorphosis Alpha. We're using these to make a role-playing game, okay? Alright, back over to this. See you in a sec. Alright guys, let me put my glove on here. Actually, I better open up a beer first. Alright, so yeah, I'm opening up this tray here. This is a fairly nice beer for just your run-of-the-mill beer here in Spain. Alright, so this is the character sheet. Going to change the name. Maybe, Gamma Hammer. Because I originally have it mentioned as... Or sorry, Gamma Rogue to Gamma Hammer. Okay. Alright, so let me just run through this character sheet with you. Kind of explain most of it on the Patreon. So obviously name, player's name, class. We haven't decided on this yet. But we're definitely going to have like warriors. And maybe shamans. Because as I was saying, this is going to be like a tribal society. So obviously then you can name your tribe. I have no... yeah, off the top of my head, we're going to call them the Gamma Tribe. But you can give your tribes guys a name. I'm thinking at the minute, like, maybe we can do, some sort of pluses and minuses and stuff. Your tribe probably might have some sort of specialization that you can use, like, so we can take a look at that later on when we're going to do a little bit more when we move along. Like, okay, so we're just going to run through these. Okay, strength, dex, toughness, weapon skill, ballistic skill, intelligence, willpower, and cool. Okay, so these six and white are your main. They're going to be like your main stats, and then these two here are going to be like your skills for the time being. Anyway, we might add more skills. The skill system will allow you to add any skills you want to. So let me just quickly grab some d6 here and I'll roll some up. You can listen to me roll some dice. Grab some dice if you have some and you have the character sheet in front of you if you're following along. Or if you're just having a beer. Okay, I'll have to clear all these up now. Alright, so I got a couple of dice here. 46. Let me get 4 that are the same here. 46. And I'm just going to write them in straight across the line. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 strength. Alright, we're just doing this just to kind of get some numbers here. 10 on the dex. Just some random numbers because I could write really in anything. What's that? That's 9, 12 on the toughness. But just to keep things random, 14 on the intelligence. So I'm rolling 4d6 and I'm taking the 3 best. But you can pretty much do this whatever you want, like, you know, roll 3d6. Okay, so that's 15 on the will. Oh, I'm a little bit better on this side than on the other. Oh, this one gone. Okay, 9, and that's 11 on the cool. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, all right, so look, our stats are going to work between 1 to 20, okay? Well, I mean, 1 to 18, but our statistics are running on a 1 to 20 basis, okay? If that makes sense. Let me move on then to the skills from these. All right, so we're going to use your main attributes to dictate your skills, okay? And it's going to be a mix of your intelligence plus 1 of your 3 physical stats, okay? And this comes from a bit of research I done on just like your natural talent. So we're going to work out your natural talent basis first. Now, there's a lot of studies on natural talent. Where can I write this? I'm not write down an equipment down here just so I'm not. I could actually go over to the paper, but studies on natural talent say natural talent is about 12% of your overall skill. Okay, that means like what you naturally have. What you're naturally like if you've never tried anything before. So like if you know someone who's extremely good at football and has never played football before, their natural talent, they're naturally talented in football or soccer, okay? And that's their natural talent is about 12% of that, and then it's skill, it's training afterwards, and that makes up the remaining 88%, okay? So we're just going to work out the natural talent here in the 12. So what we're going to do is your skills are basically based on your intelligence, on your IQ. That's kind of how quick you grasp stuff. But then it's also based on like your physical skills, you know, like your strength and your dexterity, because people are born like with like different reaction times, you know, quick reflex muscles, or people are naturally stronger, you know. So that also has a thing got to do with it. So how we're going to do this is it's working on a 20 system. So we're going to add the two of these together. So let's say we're going for the weapon skill. Okay, so weapon skill is worked on dex. So we got dex and intelligence, 14 plus 10. Okay, so it's 24. And I made a little chart. Okay, so we divide this by 8. There'll be a little chart. I'll have this up on the Patreon. All right, so 8 into 24. Let's just do some quick maths and give Ian 2 minutes to click on the calculator here. Come on, calculator. Fuck yeah. Come on, calculator. Come on. Okay, so 24 divided by 8, because 12% is 1/8. So that's what we're going to do. 24 divided by 8 equals 3. Okay, so your weapon skill works out with 3. Oh, come on, right in here. All right. Let me just see now if I can delete this or rub out some of this stuff because it's getting pretty messy. Now, let me just check this again. So I lied there. It's actually strength. And the ballistic skill is actually dex. So there's not much of a difference there. I think it ends up in 3 in both of them. 9 plus 14 is 23. Divided by 8 equals 2 point. Okay, so it's 2.8 and it's rounded down. So this is actually 2. So let me just rub that out. So your weapon skill is actually 2. So you can see now how you're going to work out your starting skills. So intelligence by toughness, dex, strength, whichever one you think is the closest to it. Now it could just be intelligence, you know. These are just physical skills. Okay, so once we have that done, then we're going to kind of look at armor class and weapons. Okay, so when we're doing hand-to-hand combat, it's going to be worked on a weapon skill. Okay, so it's going to be weapon skill versus weapon skill. So this is why this chart is in here, because everything is going to be kind of like versus. Attacker, defender. I'm marking all over the place now on this. Let's say the two of them have a weapon skill of 2. Natural, without any pluses, they would verse each other. We already explained this already, 2 versus 2, so the attacker would roll a 10, alright? If they hit, we check out their armor class. Yeah, this is kind of getting messy. Very complicated. Okay, so we're going to have to move this armor class then altogether. Scratch this out maybe. Because the idea for the armor class now is going to be more of a toughness. It's going to be more of a soak value. It's going to work on a tech level. This ballistic bonus and weapon bonus over here are going to be worked on your strength and dex. And this is going to be to damage. Yeah, let's jump over to the paper. Let's jump over to the paper on the top-down shoot. And I can show you a little bit better what I mean. Then we can come back to this. And we can write stuff out a little bit better. This episode's probably going to be edited to the last, because everything is all over the place. And yeah. It's not that simple. Alright, let me jump over here to the overhead. Alright guys, it's probably handier now if I just run over this, because I'm getting a bit lost just looking at the character sheet trying to remember stuff. I should have had my notes in front of me, but unfortunately I didn't, like a fucking idiot. Okay, alright, let's try and start back over some of this. We already know how the skills are going to go, okay? So, it's a lot, look, absolute lot of fucking bullshit. Because it takes a lot of fucking effort coming up with something that's different. Building an actual system for people to start playing. Okay, so we're 15 minutes in, probably less once I edit this out and cut all this out and a lot of the other stuff. So our skills, we're going to work out the natural talent. It's 1/8. Okay, now this is all going to be different. Don't fucking look at that. We have the skills basically done. Okay, so we figured out how we're gonna do that. Skill, abilities added together. Okay, so strength plus intelligence over 8. Okay, divided by 8, and that will give us our natural talent. Okay, and for the ballistic skill, it's going to be dex plus intelligence over 8. Okay, and that'll give us our that. Now, let's move on to the next thing. Let's see if I can find actually what I was doing. Alright, so this section here, this is what I have marked. Okay, so this is what I kind of finalized what I want to put down on the sheets and start play testing. Okay, so for melee, it's weapon skill versus weapon skill. And we're going to use that little chart that I have that's on the character sheet. Okay, and for shooting, it's going to be dexterity versus ballistic skill. So we're going to work out basically your to hit. Okay, that's going to be not your to hit, but the VS on that. Let's just quickly do that. So let's say we have it on the sheet here, and we'll go back in and we will fill in the AC for shooting, but we're going to have to change that. I'm going to have to change that for something else, because we're going to use armor class like in as a soak, as I said. Okay, so to hit somebody, it's dexterity, but it's going to be dexterity by 8. So what do we get on this? Let me just have a quick look here. If I can fucking see, everything's in the fucking way. All right, so we 10 for dex. So basically, the dex on that is going to be 1. So it's going to be 1 versus a ballistic skill of, we'll just use the one that we have there, is 3. So on the chart then, we are looking at an 8 or higher to hit somebody on the D20. That's doable. But that's just somebody that's not wearing armor, okay? That has a dex of 10. Okay, you're going to need a really high stat to get this up to 2. So again, maybe we could add intelligence to that just to boost it up so it's a little bit even. But let's just hold on and let's just work it out on the 8. So let's move on to armor class. So how we're going to do armor class is a tech level system. So each I don't have a listing done out here now, but let's just look at it in Gamma World here now quickly. Armor class. So we have different stuff here now. If you can see, let me just check. This is just the treasure table here. This is sheet armor, powered armor, all this sort of stuff. Armor class on the tech level is this. It depends on the weapon that's being used. Okay, so let me just see if I can just find armor here on this quickly. Alright, here we go. So this is the armor class. This is the way armor classes worked in this, okay? So no protection is 10, shields only, like a normal shield. Skins, and it goes all the way up then to powered plate and all this sort of stuff, okay? So we're going to use this as a tech level, and the tech level is going to give it a value on the soak, alright? So even though you're jumping around in armor, your dex is going to or your armor class is going to basically rely, or your to be hit is going to basically rely on your dexterity, okay? And in that, the different levels of armor are going to have a soak value, and for each tech level of armor, let's say shields and your basic leather and hides are tech level, 1, tech level 2. Okay, so it's going to soak 1d6, and the tech level is going to soak 2d6. But your weapons are going to deal 1d6 per tech level. So I have I don't know if a little quick list for the damage on the weapons. So tech level 1 will be like stick. 2 is a club, something that's kind of shaped to be used as a weapon. Then it goes up into stone weapons, stone spears. Then it will go up into copper, the next progression in human evolution. Up into bronze, then iron. Then iron, steel. We got spring steel and hardened alloys. So we're talking about like more sharper steels, more sharper metals, more resilient. And then we're going to go into like vibro, the futuristic sort of stuff, vibro blades and energy weapons, okay, being 9 and 10. So the tech levels are going to be the same on the armor and that. Now, the weapons we might give the weapons special abilities. Like, is a vibro blade able to cut certain stuff? An energy weapon, might only be able to be stopped by whatever. So the weapons might make some of your armor negated, or the armor might make some of your weapons, might do extra. So this is something now. This is the next thing. We actually have to test this out. So yeah, we're not gonna test this out now. We'll move on and we'll test this out next time. Look, I know it's a bit messy and you're probably listening to me going, "Oh, this guy's fucking mad." But I just have too many thoughts going on sometimes. So let me get a drink of beer. Okay, so this is a load of wank. But I'm going to get this down onto a character sheet. I'm going to rearrange some of that character sheet that's there, if need be. I'm going to come up with 1 or 2 little pieces of armor. Or if you want to come up with 1 or 2 pieces of armor, if you see something and you're like, oh, you know what, this might be cool for it. I kind of get what you're saying. Like as I have here, tech armor versus tech weapons 4. So, like is it AC3? Does it minuses damage? What's the plus on it? I don't want to. That's just me being complicated thinking. So I want this to be nice and smooth, like. Or does armor class add to your dexterity to block stuff, as in D&D? I don't really want to work it that way. I mean, it's really fucking easy to shoot somebody. You know, if you're good. Yeah. So we're not going to change the armor class. Armor class is just going to be basically worked on your dex. But this is the thing. Maybe a powered suit of armor ups your dex. You know, maybe heavier armor reduces your dex. You know, so that one could be gone, like, because you're a big walking block, and that's why it has the soak value. Okay, you know, because the armor just soaks it up. Like maybe an arm, like you're in full powered armor. It's 10. Let's say it's 10d6, and someone is trying to bait you with a fucking an iron bar. Okay, which is like 6d6, because it's tech level 6, like, and this is a 10. Do you know? It's 4d6. You might get some damage, but not much. Or maybe it's so maybe this armor gets something different. The properties are different on it. So that's where we're going with that, alright? So I just wanted to show you how we're going to work the weapon systems and the skill systems. I'll go back to the sheet. I'll fill some stuff in from these notes here. Or I'll put this stuff... And actually, I just put this stuff up on Patreon. You can have a quick look at the scribbles. And if you've... I'll clear stuff up and I'll write stuff out a little bit better on the Patreon. Kind of gather the thoughts a little bit better, so everything's not all over the place. Okay, so what I want to do now is just have a quick look at world building the worlds. Oh, lads, it's great being stressed out. Just start talking an absolute lot of bollocks, don't you? Alright, world building. So the main idea from this one is that the idea is not the same as what I started out with, what I was saying to you about building a game for my mates. I'm still building a game for my mates, but the original idea, or the original game that I played with my mates years ago, it's not the same, okay? It's not based on 40k per se. It's going to be a little mix of both, in a sense of that's the atmosphere and the feeling I want in the game, okay? So it's going to be dark, dingy, and how we're going to do that is we are going to set the game around a giant crashed ship, okay? And that giant crashed ship is basically going to act as the dungeon. Okay, almost like a space Hulk. With the corridors, but we can refine that down from the corridors, and we can use the ducts, and the large open spaces, and some of the rooms and the cargo holds and that, so there's a lot there. But the outside world, where the characters are going to be from, that's going to be based... That outside world is going to be based in the tribal society. I don't know how to spell society, so I always have fucking trouble with it. So it's going to revolve around tribal society, where the adventurers, or the characters that your players are going to play, are members of different tribes. So that gives them different ways to make stuff up. Now, I was looking at running maybe the pre-civilization, like species like look like ourselves, Homo sapiens, and then Homo erectus and Neanderthals, and I don't know. There's a rake more, but I have a list of 6. Okay, and I'll put that list of 6 up on the Patreon. I don't have it here on hand. It's on the PC in front of me. So we got six species. Now, historically or accurately, they're probably like a few thousand years apart. The development of these species. Obviously, they've all died out now, but you know they're based here on Earth, so it gives us a different view on kind of like how we can use species, not our fucking elves and our dwarves and our fucking goblins and our gnomes and all this sort of stuff. You know, actual species that lived here. So then we need to work out at some stage later on all this sort of stuff, the benefits of it. Okay, so maybe we'll do that down the line when I get the list of this sort of stuff up. So then that'll allow then people to have stuff from their species and then stuff from their tribe. You know, what is their tribe? Are they hunter-gatherers? Are they, I don't know, do they like fucking, are they like cannibalistic? You know, I was working on an idea for a game years ago and I was going to call it 12 Tribes. And that's probably because I heard it somewhere else. Or maybe 13 tribes. And one of these tribes was going to be like this fucking alien civilization. Okay. And that's who we were going to evolve into. Anyway. And then you were going to play these other species or these other tribes. I couldn't really figure it out. So I brought that idea into this. And what's going to happen once you have your characters built? The start of the game is basically this spaceship hits the planet or crashes into the planet, and then your tribes gather together because maybe some creatures or some monsters have escaped from this ship, and the tribes are gathering together to send their chosen warriors into it, or their initiates, or you know, they're being asked basically to pick somebody to send them in and investigate this ship and see what it is and see if it's gonna how dangerous it's gonna be, or whatever. Okay, so that gives the adventurers a push into this, and then it's going to get very shitty, and then we can use all the radiation stuff. We can use, you know, our weapon skills, all that sort of thing. Everything comes into gear there, as we'll say. And as they move through the crashed vessel, this is where they start picking up their technology. Okay, and their different levels of tech. Okay, and learn how to use it. All right, and yeah, learn how to use it, and basically, you know, using the matrix that we're looking at. And now, then after that, then we have to look at, as they're moving through, like how things level up. All right. How do you level up? Well, leveling up in real life is your 10,000 hours bullshit, isn't it? But your 10,000 hours bullshit actually depends on your intelligence level. If you're intelligent, this is cut down. This might be only 8,000. You know? If you're less intelligent, this could be 12,000. But then it depends on how much time you put into it. So we're going to calculate this into a bunch of XP at some stage. You know, when you do something, you get a little bit of XP. And this goes towards your 10,000, your 12,000 hours. Or your equivalent of XP. This is why I think sometimes Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and the lads were fucking geniuses. Because they obviously looked at all this sort of stuff. You know, intelligence growth, like, because you get a 10% bonus on stuff. Depending on your primary stat, like. Alright? So, we would do the same here. Your primary stat or your intelligence will give you a small percentile. So, you know, it'll equal out to this. And then we have to see what we're going to do for the levels. Yeah, anyway, guys, look, let's move on from that. And let's go back to the character sheet. Just quickly fill that out. Alright? Let's just rub all this shite out here, okay? And rub this out. And rub this out. Okay. Right, so what were we saying here? All right, so we were saying that your AC basically, or your chance of getting shot, is going to work off your dex. So that's 1, all right? Now, let's go down to the armor. We can change this toughness. Can I just control Z? We'll change this toughness to soak. Okay, and let's say you're working on an armor class that's Tech 2 armor, okay? So Tech 2 armor, and your soak is 2d6, all right? And then your weapon. Oh, let's say your weapon is a steel hatchet. Let's say your weapon is an iron hatchet, okay? So iron is 6. So iron is 6. Your damage is going to be 66. Okay. Your ballistic skill is a no-no. Oh, it might have a ballistic skill on something else. Let's just change this. Okay, your weapon skill. Does this make it easier to hit you as well? You know? Okay, so your weapon skill is 2. Alright. You haven't gone up any levels yet. We'll have to put in a little level thing. Maybe we'll put in a little XP thing here. Fill up that space. Okay, now, and then let's say you're using a bow. And you got some stone arrows. And a bow is possibly... I'm going to say bow is like 4. You know? Normal bow. Let's just say it's a primitive homemade bow. We'll do that at 2. Okay, 2d6. And your ballistic skill up here then is 3. So you're actually a lot better at doing stuff. So you can see, like, if someone is in the same armor as you. Now, okay, your weapon bonus and your strength up here. Let's just have a look at that, because we were talking about that a while ago. It's going to be 1, so you're going to have a plus 1d6 with your iron axe. So you're actually going to do 7. 7d6 damage on that, right? That's a lot, isn't it? So, like, I mean, like, if you look at the hit points up here, what do we say for hit points? We were saying 12. Let's roll 12d6 quickly and get a number here. Alright. So we got 39 hit points. Okay, 39 hit points. Now, let's say we roll 7d6. Let's quickly just say, right. Let's do this for the boys. Let's just do a quick play test this, and we'll use our own armor class as our own scores as a mean to track. So 2 by 2. Let's just go down here. It's 10. Let's have a roll. That's a 4. That's a miss. Okay. Let's just say we fucking hit, because I just rolled a 10 on my second one. Grand. I get to roll 7d6 damage. Okay, 7d6 damage. Okay, 23 points of damage. I'll write this down here. 23 points of damage. Now, that person gets to soak that damage. I've hit them, but their armor class that they're wearing is Tech 2, so they are going to soak 2d6 damage, and they rolled an 8. We got 23 minus 8. What's that? That's like 15, isn't it? Yeah, so it's 15. So they've only taken 15 damage then in total. So 15 minus that is 24. So on average then, let's just take these as an average roll. You know, this might be the average. We are going to say, let's say it's another 15 gone off that. What's that then? That's 10, 14, that's 9. So 3 hits from an axe. Okay, it kind of works at that. You know? I mean, like, if you didn't have armor and you got a 15, you know, you're got 23 points of damage. You're going to be almost dead. So it's still going to be along the lethal, vicious lines of Rogue Trader, where you might only have 1 or 2 wounds, and you're rolling toughness. Okay. All right, I'm going to write these rules down. I'm going to explain them properly in the Patreon. So, lads, I'll put the link in the description. Pop on over, have a read of it. I know I'm fucking rambling on here today, but I'm shattered and stressed out. Well, no, I won't say stressed out, but shattered, and I need to get outside and walk the dogs and do some stuff. It's 5 o'clock here, and I'm probably going to go for a beer. We'll do some stuff on the radiation some other time. All right, guys. Thanks very much if you're kept with me this long. A shout out to all the people watching there, all the people who are signed up to the channel and still watching me talk crazy bullshit. Guys, we'll see you in another 2 weeks or something. Check out the Patreon. There's a week left in it. It's doing very good. Or not the Patreon, sorry. Check out the Kickstarter. It's doing very good. I'll put the link to that in the description as well. Stronghold of the Mad Dwarf. We got like 9 days left on it. Probably a week in it by the time I get this out here. Yeah, go check it out. Have a look at it. It's going to be released for 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, 5th edition, and Shadow Dark. And it's each one is separate, not like last time where everything was put together. It's doing very well. People seem to be liking it. Pop on over, take a look at it, let me know what you think. Drop a comment and tell me to stop rambling. I'll try and get a bit more cohesive with these, but this sort of stuff is always all over the place till you kind of refine stuff down, and then we'll probably have a proper role-playing game at some stage. Okay, guys, thanks very much. Gonna stop rambling. Talk to you later. Bye.